Good evening. Let me ask you something important. What happens during the final hour before you close your eyes at night? Most people think bedtime is simply the time when the body shuts down, but that is not what is happening. While you sleep, your brain is incredibly active. It is organizing information, strengthening important memories, repairing itself, removing waste products that build up during the day, and preparing you for the next morning. But here is something many people do not realize. The choices you make before sleep may influence how well your brain performs this overnight maintenance. The food you eat in those final hours can either support your brain or it can work against the very processes that help protect memory as you age. I am Dr. Arthur Vance, and today we are going to discuss 5 foods that may support brain health and memory when included as part of a healthy evening routine. Now, before we go any further, I want to make something clear. There is no single food that can prevent dementia. There is no magic meal that can reverse memory loss overnight, and anyone promising that one ingredient can completely restore your brain is not giving you the full picture. Your brain is influenced by many things: your genetics, your sleep quality, your physical activity, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your stress levels, and the overall quality of your diet. But nutrition does matter. The brain requires specific nutrients to maintain healthy connections between brain cells. And as we get older, providing those nutrients becomes increasingly important because aging changes the brain. The brain becomes less efficient at repairing itself. Inflammation may increase. Sleep patterns often change, and certain nutrients become more difficult for the body to maintain at optimal levels. This is why small daily habits can make a meaningful difference. Before we continue, if you appreciate practical, science-based health information designed for adults over 60, subscribe to the channel. My goal is to help you understand your health better and learn simple strategies that may help protect your independence and quality of life as you age. Now let's talk about something fascinating. Your brain does not simply rest during sleep. It performs important maintenance. One of the most important processes happening during deep sleep is memory consolidation. Think about your brain like a large library. Throughout the day, thousands of pieces of information enter that library. Conversations, faces, experiences, new skills, emotions. During sleep, your brain organizes those memories. It decides what information should be strengthened and what information can be removed. This process helps explain why poor sleep often leads to forgetfulness. Have you ever had a night where you slept poorly and the next day your mind felt slower? You searched for simple words. You forgot small details. You felt mentally tired. Because sleep is not just about feeling rested. It is part of how your brain functions, and nutrition can influence many of the systems involved in healthy sleep. Now, let's begin with the 5th food on our list. But tart cherries are different, especially a variety known as Montmorency tart cherries. These small fruits contain natural compounds that have attracted attention because of their relationship with sleep and inflammation. One of the most interesting compounds found in tart cherries is natural melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone your body produces that helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. As we age, natural melatonin production often decreases. This is one reason many older adults experience changes in sleep. Maybe you wake up more often during the night. Maybe you fall asleep easily, but wake up too early. Maybe your sleep feels lighter than it used to. And this matters because deep sleep is closely connected with memory processing. Tart cherries also contain compounds called anthocyanins. These are plant pigments responsible for the deep red color of many berries and cherries. Anthocyanins are studied because of their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Now, why does inflammation matter for the brain? Because your brain, like every other part of your body, can experience stress over time. Aging is associated with changes in inflammatory processes. When inflammation becomes excessive, it can affect the environment where brain cells communicate. Think about a highway. When the road is clear, traffic moves smoothly, but when there are obstacles everywhere, movement slows down. Your brain's communication system works in a similar way. Healthy communication between brain cells is important for memory, learning, and thinking. Research has explored whether Tart Cherry products may support sleep quality and certain aspects of cognitive function. But remember, this does not mean Tart Cherry Juice is a treatment for memory disorders. It is simply one food that may support some of the systems connected with healthy aging. So, how can you use it? A practical approach is choosing pure Tart Cherry Juice without added sugar. A small serving in the evening may fit into a healthy routine. Be careful with portions because juice still contains natural sugars. This is especially important if you have diabetes or blood sugar concerns. Whole cherries can also be a good option because they contain fiber. The key is choosing forms that fit your individual health needs. Number 4. Greek yogurt. Now let's move to the fourth food. And this one is something many people already have in their refrigerator, but they may not realize its connection with overnight repair. Greek yogurt is often discussed because of protein and calcium, and those benefits are important. But there is another reason it may be valuable as part of an evening routine. Greek yogurt contains a significant amount of an amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is used by your body to produce serotonin, and serotonin can then be converted into melatonin. This pathway is important because melatonin helps regulate your sleep cycle. Think of tryptophan as a raw material. Your body takes that material and uses it to create compounds involved in relaxation and sleep timing. But there is another reason protein matters after 60. As we age, the body becomes less efficient at using protein. This is called anabolic resistance. In simple terms, your muscles and tissues may need a stronger signal from protein to maintain themselves. And protein is not only important for muscles. Your brain also depends on proteins and amino acids to maintain connections between brain cells. Every memory you have is stored through patterns of communication between neurons. Those connections require constant maintenance. Greek yogurt provides slow-digesting protein, especially casein protein. Because casein digests more slowly, it can provide a steady supply of amino acids over several hours. This makes it a useful option for some people as an evening snack. A simple serving of plain Greek yogurt can be combined with brain-supporting foods such as berries or a small amount of nuts. The important thing is avoiding turning a healthy food into a dessert loaded with added sugar. Choose plain varieties whenever possible. You can add natural sweetness with fruit instead. Now, before we continue with the top 3 foods, I want to remind you of something. Protecting your brain is not about one perfect decision. It is about the small choices you repeat every day, the meal you prepare, the walk you take, the sleep you protect, the habits you maintain. Those daily choices build the foundation for healthy aging. And the next 3 foods include some of the most interesting nutrients researchers have studied for supporting the aging brain. They provide specific nutrients your brain uses to maintain healthy communication, protect brain cells, and support normal aging. Number 3. Walnuts. When most people think about brain health foods, they often think about fish. But there is another food that has received significant attention from researchers: walnuts. And there is a reason walnuts are often associated with brain health. Look closely at the shape of a walnut. Many people have noticed that it almost resembles the human brain. That is not why it works, but it is an interesting reminder that nature often provides foods with unique nutritional profiles. Walnuts contain several compounds that may support brain health. One of the most important is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid called alpha-linolenic acid, also known as ALA. Omega-3 fats are important because the brain contains a large amount of fat. In fact, healthy fats are essential parts of brain cell membranes. These membranes help brain cells communicate with each other. Think about the wiring inside your home. If the wiring is damaged, signals do not travel properly. Your brain cells also depend on healthy structures that allow information to move efficiently. Walnuts also contain polyphenols. These are plant compounds that have antioxidant properties. They help protect cells from oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is a natural process that happens when your body produces unstable molecules called free radicals. Your body has its own defense systems, but excessive oxidative stress over time can affect cells throughout the body, including brain cells. This is one reason researchers are interested in foods rich in antioxidants and healthy fats. Because the brain is a very active organ, it consumes a large amount of energy, and with that energy production comes normal metabolic stress. The right nutrients help support the body's natural maintenance systems. Now, there is another reason walnuts are interesting. They may support the health of blood vessels, and healthy blood vessels are essential for a healthy brain. Your brain requires a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients through blood flow. Problems that affect circulation can also affect brain health. This is why managing blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar is so important as we age. Food choices are one piece of that bigger picture. So how can you include walnuts? A small handful is usually enough. You do not need a large amount. Nuts are nutrient-dense, which means they contain many calories in a small serving. A practical option is eating walnuts with your evening snack. You can combine them with Greek yogurt. Add them to oatmeal, or simply enjoy a small portion on their own. Choose raw or dry roasted walnuts when possible. Avoid versions covered in sugar, candy coatings, or excessive salt. The goal is supporting your health, not adding extra ingredients that work against it. Now, here is something important. Walnuts are healthy, but they are not a replacement for other brain protective habits. A person who eats walnuts every night but never exercises, sleeps poorly, and has uncontrolled blood pressure is still missing important pieces. Healthy aging requires a complete approach. Number 2. Raw honey. Now let's move to the second food. And this one may surprise many people because it is something we often think about as a sweetener. But the type you choose matters. Honey has been used by humans for thousands of years. Ancient cultures used it as a food and traditional remedy. Today, researchers continue studying some of the compounds naturally found in honey. But before we talk about the potential benefits, we need to make an important distinction. Not all honey is the same. Highly processed honey products may have fewer naturally occurring compounds than raw, less processed varieties. Raw honey contains natural plant compounds, enzymes, and antioxidants. These compounds are part of what makes honey different from simple table sugar. Now, does honey improve memory? Not by itself. A teaspoon of honey is not going to suddenly rebuild your brain. But some research suggests certain compounds in honey may interact with pathways involved in antioxidant protection and cellular health. One area researchers are interested in is a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. You do not need to remember the name. Think of BDNF as a support system for brain cells. It helps maintain neurons and supports the connections between them. Those connections are what allow your brain to store and retrieve information. As we age, supporting healthy brain signaling becomes increasingly important. Now, another reason some people consider a small amount of honey before bed is related to sleep. Your brain uses energy during the night, and maintaining stable energy availability is part of normal sleep physiology. Some people find that a small amount of carbohydrate before bed helps them avoid waking during the night due to hunger. However, this is not appropriate for everyone. If you have diabetes, blood sugar concerns, or specific dietary restrictions, you should discuss your individual situation with your healthcare provider. The amount matters. A small amount is very different from eating large amounts of sugar before bed. Too much sugar can negatively affect sleep quality and overall metabolic health. So if someone chooses to include honey, think of it as a small addition, not a dessert, a teaspoon mixed into plain Greek yogurt. A small amount in herbal tea, or paired with foods containing protein and healthy fats. The combination matters. Protein and healthy fats can slow digestion and help create a more balanced snack. Now, I want to pause here. Many people search for ways to protect memory because they have noticed small changes. Maybe they walk into a room and forget why they went there. Maybe names do not come as quickly. Maybe they feel their mind is not as sharp as it once was. Some forgetfulness can be a normal part of aging, but certain changes should always be discussed with a healthcare professional, especially if memory problems begin affecting daily life. getting lost in familiar places, difficulty managing finances, repeating the same questions frequently, major personality changes. These are not things to simply ignore. Nutrition is important, but proper medical evaluation matters too. Number 1. Fatty fish. And now we are ready to discuss the number 1 food on this list. This is a food that many people were once told to avoid, especially older adults concerned about cholesterol. But modern research has changed the way many experts view this food. It provides some of the most important nutrients for maintaining brain structure as we age. For decades, some older adults were told to avoid certain types of fat. They were warned that eating foods like salmon or other fatty fish might be harmful because of concerns about cholesterol. But nutrition science has become much more detailed. Today, researchers understand that not all fats affect the body in the same way. And when it comes to brain health, certain fats are not just helpful, they are essential. Food we are talking about is fatty fish. Examples include wild-caught salmon, sardines, mackerel, trout, and other fish naturally rich in omega-3 fatty acids. The reason these foods are so important is because they provide 2 special omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA. DHA, in particular, is extremely important for the brain. Your brain is one of the most fat-rich organs in your body. Healthy fats are part of the structure of brain cells. They help maintain the flexibility and function of cell membranes. Think of each brain cell as a communication center. The cell membrane is like the protective outer wall that helps control what enters and leaves the cell. When these structures are healthy, brain cells can communicate more effectively. And communication between brain cells is the foundation of memory, learning, and thinking. This is why DHA has received so much attention in nutritional neuroscience. It is not simply a nutrient that floats around the body. It becomes part of the physical structure of your brain. Now, as we age, maintaining adequate levels of these nutrients becomes increasingly important. The body becomes less efficient at certain processes. Nutrient absorption may change, dietary habits may change, and some people consume fewer foods that naturally provide omega-3 fats. This is one reason experts often encourage older adults to include fish regularly as part of a balanced eating pattern. But let's address a common concern. What about cholesterol? This is where many people have outdated information. Eating fatty fish is not the same as eating unhealthy processed fats. Fish provides omega-3 fatty acids along with protein, vitamins, and minerals. The overall pattern of your diet matters much more than focusing on one food in isolation. Of course, every person is different. People with certain medical conditions, allergies, or dietary restrictions should discuss their choices with their healthcare provider. Now let's talk about why the timing of your evening meal may matter. During deep sleep, your brain activates important maintenance processes. One of these involves clearing waste products that accumulate throughout the day. Your brain is constantly working, thinking, processing information, creating memories. Like any active system, it creates waste products that need to be managed. Deep sleep provides the opportunity for this maintenance. This is another reason quality sleep is such a powerful part of healthy aging. Nutrition supports the process, but sleep allows the process to happen. A small serving of fatty fish as part of dinner can provide valuable nutrients without needing complicated preparation. For example, grilled salmon with vegetables, sardines added to a salad, baked trout with a side of whole grains. Simple meals can provide powerful nutrition. Now, fatty fish offers another important nutrient: vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 plays a critical role in nervous system health. It helps maintain normal nerve function. It supports the production of red blood cells. And it is involved in processes that protect brain function. B12 deficiency becomes more common as people get older. Some adults absorb B12 less efficiently because stomach acid production decreases with age. Certain medications can also affect B12 levels. For example, some people taking long-term metformin or acid-reducing medications may need to discuss B12 monitoring with their healthcare provider. Another nutrient found in fatty fish is vitamin D. Vitamin D is important for many systems throughout the body, including bones, muscles, and immune function. Many older adults have lower vitamin D levels, especially those who spend limited time outdoors. Again, the goal is not taking excessive amounts. The goal is maintaining appropriate levels. Now, I want to bring everything together. The 5 foods we discussed today were tart cherry juice, Greek yogurt, walnuts, raw honey, and fatty fish. But the bigger message is not that you need to eat a perfect bedtime menu every night. The bigger message is understanding how your daily choices influence your body. Your brain does not age overnight, and it does not become healthier overnight either. It responds to repeated habits, the food you eat consistently, the quality of your sleep, your activity level, your relationships, your stress management. All of these influence healthy aging. Before we finish, if this information helped you understand brain health in a clearer way, subscribe to the channel. Every week I share practical, science-based information to help adults over 60 protect their memory, mobility, and independence. Now let's review the most important points. First, sleep is not just rest. It is an active repair period for your brain. That is why a healthy evening routine is about more than food. It is about creating the right environment for your brain. Second, the nutrients you provide your body can support the systems involved in healthy brain function. Third, foods containing healthy fats, antioxidants, protein, and essential vitamins can become valuable parts of a balanced lifestyle. Fourth, no food can guarantee perfect memory. There is no single ingredient that replaces medical care, exercise, or healthy daily habits. And finally, do not underestimate small choices. A handful of walnuts, a serving of fish, a bowl of Greek yogurt, a better sleep routine, a daily walk. These may seem like simple actions, but over months and years, they become powerful investments in your future health. Your brain has supported you through every conversation, every decision, every relationship, and every important moment of your life. Taking care of it is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. And remember, healthy aging is not about preventing every change. It is about supporting your body so you can continue doing the things that matter most. Spending time with family, enjoying your hobbies, maintaining your independence, and living your life with confidence. Thank you for spending this time with me today. This video is for educational purposes only and does not replace personalized medical advice. If you have new or worsening memory problems, confusion, changes in your ability to manage daily activities, or other concerning symptoms, speak with a qualified healthcare professional. Always discuss supplements, major dietary changes, and health concerns with your doctor to determine what is appropriate for your individual situation.